All right, so that's the house I grew up in. It was a really great house, lots of memories. I'm from a town in south central Minnesota called Mankato. It's very large. I'm sure most of you know of it. And yes, that's a picture of a cornfield because even though I grew up in the middle of the city, cornfields are everywhere. And until I could really think for myself, I honestly thought that was nature. In high school, I was a part of a lot of things like choir and band and speech. I get all dressed up and I went to the dances. I had a couple part-time jobs, everything from Office Max to Cold Stone Creamery, which was a fun job, except the singing got really old after a while. I graduated high school in 2008, which wasn't a really big deal for me at the time. All my friends were picking colleges, and I was very content just staying home in Mankato, going to MSU. I wasn't really sure of my major, and so I thought, well, I'll stay home and discover my passions and figure out who I am. And I've always had a deep love for animals, and so I started learning about things like factory farms and industrial agriculture, and that really opened up this whole new world of environmental issues. And so I thought, okay, that's what I want to do. I want to make a change. I want to study the environment. I want to live it. Let's do this. So while at MSU, thank you. So while at MSU, I started volunteering for some nonprofits like the Minnesota Environmental Partnership, great group. I did some literature dropping for the Clean Water, Land, and Legacy Amendment, and I actually met a man who was a BSU alum. I told him my story about wanting to be an environmental major, and he recommended BSU. He praised the environmental program and the student group, Students for the Environment, so I was very intrigued. I applied, and I was officially accepted. I was so excited about college. I would officially be a student at Bemidji starting fall 2009. The only thing was I didn't really know where Bemidji was. I could barely pronounce the name, so the folks and I decided to drive up. We drove 5 hours, and I remember it was a really rainy, gloomy weekend. And when we got into town, it was a complete ghost town. No one was outside. I just kept thinking, what did I get myself into? What am I doing here? But I had to get over that, and I told myself, it'll be fine. Let's do this. It'll be great. And it kept getting closer and closer to moving day, and I kept thinking, oh my gosh, I have to leave my family. This is new to me. My family, they're my backbone. I love my mom and dad and my sisters so much. Words can't even describe how much they mean to me. But they're my motivation, my inspiration, and they're just a constant reminder of who I am, what I stand for, and where I come from. But moving day eventually came around, and I ended up living in Birch Hall, number 372, my very first dorm. I had a great view of the lake. Oh, thank you. And I could watch football games for free, even though I never did, because I don't watch football. But it was a great view, and I was finally on my own, and it felt great. I was ready to create my world, make friends, and have a successful undergraduate experience. I tried joining a bunch of clubs, and the one that stuck was Students for the Environment, obviously. And I've actually been given the opportunity to be president for 2 years of that club, and it's been great. I've met a lot of great people, and there's times of stress, don't get me wrong, but it's fun. I love it, and none of it would have happened if I hadn't came to Bemidji. Something else that I'm really grateful for is the Sustainability Office. My first year here, I wiggled myself in there, and I've been working for Erica Bailey Johnson for 3 years, and it's been amazing. I've been given so many opportunities. This is where I learned the bulk of my sustainability knowledge. And none of it would have happened if I hadn't come here. Being able to be a part of things like the Environmental Advisory Committee, meeting different faculty and staff, volunteering for environmental nonprofits that make solar air heat panels, being able to present at sustainability conferences, writing grants, things like that. Being able to experience a powerful protest on tar sands thanks to the Indigenous Environmental Network, attending the Citizens Climate Lobby, and learning how to communicate to politicians about climate issues, and just being a part of something simple like Habitat for Humanity and building a home for someone have all been wonderful, eye-opening experiences that I'll never forget. And none of them would have happened if I hadn't come to Bemidji. Like I said, the sustainability is great. It's my home away from home. And what I love is everyone that works there, they all come from different backgrounds, yet we all have one goal in mind, and that's to make a difference. And we can all give thanks to Erica for that. She's one inspirational woman. She's been one of my biggest role models, and I consider her a true friend. She's a part of the reason why Bemidji is so special to me. And And being able to say that I was here when the very first campus edible garden was created, and I was here when the first energy panel started that Erica put together last spring is something I'm so proud of. Being able to see and experience the power and change that passionate people can make is something that inspires me and just keeps me going. Pat Welly is another person I'm eternally grateful for. I know him as my professor, the co-advisor of SFE, and my academic advisor. He's been giving me so much, including the awesome internship I had this summer at the Land Stewardship Project. He introduced me to the nonprofit and to the BSU alum that actually works there, and I wouldn't have gotten that opportunity if I hadn't come to Bemidji. Two other women that I hope are in my life forever are my best friends, Emily on the left and Leah on the right. I met these two in Bemidji, and as individuals, they've given me so much, I don't even know where to start. But together, we have the best time. There's lots of laughs, and we get in these really heated discussions about world issues and what are we going to do to solve them, and it's a lot of fun. I've gotten the opportunity to meet wonderful people and just even really nice acquaintances in the city. Something that I always tell someone when I come to Bemidji that I love is the strong sense of community here. That's something I'm going to miss so much. And just the art and the culture and the music and the life here is something I would never have expected that one gloomy day when I drove into town. I know when I leave, I'm going to miss going to the roller derby and cheering on our Babe City rollers, sitting at the wonderful coffee shops, meeting up with friends at Bridget's, and just dancing. We dance all the time. It's so much fun. Also, the meaningful presence of the Anishinaabe culture. I've definitely gained an appreciation for that way of life. That's something I'm going to carry with me forever. So my decision to come to Bemidji has been hands down the best decision I've ever made. I'm positive that when graduation comes around in May, I'm going to be leaving a more educated, strong, confident woman. There are so many people and experiences to thank for that, and I hope they know how much they mean to me. So thank you, Bemidji. I appreciate everything you've done for me. Half of my heart will forever be stuck in the first city on the Mississippi.